welcome to the Millennial Book Junkie. My name is Monique, and welcome to another episode of Thriller Watch, where we talk about all the books, movies, and events in the thriller genre coming out in the upcoming month. And this month, we are talking about all the good stuff coming out in November of 2025. If you are a fan of all things thriller like I am, I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll like, I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you'll get your TBR list ready because there's a lot of really good books to add to your TBR this month. So let's get into them. So for this episode of Thriller Watch, I'm doing something a little bit different. I usually just list the thrillers in order of how they're going to come out every single month. So I'll start at the beginning, the books that are coming out November 1st, and then go from there. But I think this month I'm doing something a little different. There's so many different types of thrillers. There's crime thrillers, there's domestic thrillers, there's psychological thrillers. And I feel like dividing them up by the type of thriller is also really fun because if you are a fan of, let's say, psychological thrillers like I am, you probably just want to hear about those. So I'm going to divide up the thrillers by type of thriller. And we're going to start with the crime thrillers first. So I'm going to talk about all the crime thrillers that are coming out in November of 2025. Starting with What She Saw by Mary Burton. This one is coming out on November 1st. Now, this one is about a cold case reporter named Sloane, I love that name, who's trying to figure out what happened to her mother who disappeared from a music festival 30 years ago. Even though someone was convicted, the bodies were never found, so now Sloane is taking it upon herself to find the truth. The next crime thriller coming out in November is coming out on November 3rd, and it is called Habeas Corpus by Jake Needham. This is book one of the Charlie Trust thrillers, if you've heard of those. This one is about Charlie Trust. He's a lawyer who's pretty burnt out, and he just wants to chill in his Malibu house. But then his neighbor, who happens to be a famous TV cop, like on TV, he shows up asking for help because his wife has gone missing, and the police think he killed her. So Charlie gets dragged into a mess trying to help this guy. And this one takes place in the 90s. So if you're a fan of like that California noir vibe, like in the 90s, you might like this one. The next crime thriller coming out in November is Crimson Thaw by Bruce Robert Coffin. This is coming out on November 4th. This is book one of the Detective Justice series, which will be 3 books. And this one's about a detective who has been kicked down the ranks and sent to the middle of nowhere, Maine, where he's forced to team up with a rookie named Chloe. And when they're sent to retrieve a snowmobile, it quickly turns into a full-on murder case. And the town they're investigating is packed with secrets and shady characters. This is more of a small-town police procedural thriller, if you're into that. The next crime thriller coming out is Druids Moor by Rhys Dillon, or Rhys Dillon. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's book 18, wow, in the DCI Evan Warlow crime thriller series. Have you heard of this? This one kicks off when a young girl is found wandering the Welsh moors, muttering something eerie that sets off a murder investigation. Now, Detective Evan Warlow digs into a case full of old secrets, strange rituals, and something unsettling hiding in the mist. This is a perfect crime thriller for readers who are fans of J.D. Kirk, Simon McLeave, or Peter Robinson. The next crime thriller looks really good. I like the cover. This is called The Bridesmaid by Kate Quinn. It's coming out on November 4th. This one's about a forensic attorney who goes undercover as a bridesmaid. Okay, I like that already. After someone in the wedding party turns up dead. The bride's got secrets, the bridesmaids are hiding something, and the whole glamorous event is starting to look like a setup for murder. Okay, tell me no more. I love this. If Holly wants to survive, I'm assuming Holly is like the main character, or it's the detective, I'm not sure. She'll have to figure out who's next before it's her. That one sounds so good. I don't know. I just love like a wedding thriller drama. I really liked The Guest List by Lucy Foley. That one was so good. It was all about a wedding on like an island. Very, very good. Anyway, I love wedding thrillers. Next up, we have The Christmas Tree Killer by Chris Frost. Thank you, Chris Frost, for that title. I love it. I love a good horror Christmas thing. This one's coming out November 6th. And it is book 2 of the Tom Stoneham series. And book 1 is called The Killer's Christmas List. So it sounds like a very festive thriller series. This one is a chilling winter thriller where severed limbs start showing up gift wrapped in the snow. Oh my gosh, yes. Each one tagged for someone local. Now, Detective Inspector Tom Stoneham races to uncover whether the recipients are targets or part of something much worse. It is eerie, atmospheric, and perfect for readers who like their holiday stories with a deadly twist. Me, that's me. The next crime thriller is called Nash Falls by David Baldacci. I really don't know is that how you pronounce his name? I really hope that's how you pronounce his name. He's very famous. This one is about Walter Nash. He is a high-powered executive whose quiet life explodes when the FBI recruits him to infiltrate a global crime ring. As he goes undercover, the criminal mastermind he's targeting flips the game, and Nash is forced to become someone he never thought he would be. It's high stakes, it's a twist-filled thriller about survival, revenge, and how far one man will go when everything is on the line. This one comes out November 11th. Also on November 11th, we have The King's Ransom by Janet Ivanovich. She is a classic. This one is a globe-trotting adventure starring Gabriella Rose, a top-tier recovery agent who is dragged into a high-stakes art heist by her charming ex. With priceless artifacts missing and a powerful bank on the line, she and Rafer must chase clues, dodge danger, and unravel a conspiracy that could crash the whole global economy. I have not read any of Ivanovich's books, but I have always wanted to, and I just feel like I need 5 years to sit and just read all her books. The next crime thriller coming out is called Wild Instinct by T. Jefferson Parker. This one's also coming out on November 11th. This one's more of a gritty procedural thriller, so if you are in love with those. This one is set in Southern California. I really like this one, actually. It's where a supposed mountain lion attack turns out to be a murder, and Detective Lou Gale and his partner uncover a deeper, deadlier game beneath the surface of Orange County's elite. The mountain lion was just the beginning. Now the real hunt begins. That sounds pretty good. Next up, we have Return of the Spider by James Patterson, coming out November 17th. This one is a companion to Along Came a Spider, which you know came out like 100 years ago. This is where Alex Cross is forced to revisit his earliest case. So if you are like an Alex Cross thriller lover, you'll probably want to pick this one up. This is also about the chilling rivalry with serial killer Gary Sonnegy. Maybe he's from the first one. A newly discovered murder book reveals disturbing clues and possible mistakes from Cross's rookie days, reigniting a deadly game. It is a tense, high-stakes thriller that dives deep into the origins of one of crime's most iconic duels. Next, we have Clive Cussler, Quantum Tempest by Mike Madden and Clive Cussler. This is coming out November 18th. This is book 19 of the Oregon Files series. This is a high-stakes techno thriller where Juan Cabrillo and his crew have to stop a cartel alliance from unleashing Project Q, which is an AI powerful enough to destabilize all of America. Yikes! With assassins closing in, a mole on board, and allies lost in hostile territory, the Oregon team faces a global threat rooted in Cabrillo's own past. It's a pulse-pounding race against time, packed with espionage, betrayal, and cutting-edge danger. All right, we're still in the crime thriller portion. If you're still with me, congratulations. Drop me an emoji if you're still with me. Maybe make it a book emoji. We're still going through the crime thrillers. If you need a break, pause, get some water, get some coffee. We're going strong. The Picasso Job by Avanti Centre is coming out November 18th. This one is a twist-packed crime thriller about Dakota Black, a former golden boy turned convict who escapes prison with a cunning art thief and a vengeful enemy on his heels. Their mission is to re-steal a priceless Picasso and claim a $5 million reward. But with FBI closing in and betrayal around every corner, Dakota must decide whether he's chasing justice or just trying to survive. It is explosive, morally tangled, and full of high-stakes action. The next crime thriller is coming out on November 18th by Gilly McMillan, or it could be Gilly McMillan. It's called The Burning Library. This thriller is steeped in secret societies, ancient manuscripts, and deadly ambition. Are you getting National Treasure vibe? I kind of am a little bit. When a woman's body is washed ashore with a cryptic artifact, a scholar, a detective, and a hidden network of powerful women become entangled in a centuries-old rivalry. As secrets unravel in the shadowy halls of St. Andrews, the past threatens to consume them all. The next crime thriller coming out in November is Haven't Killed in Years by Amy K. Green. This is coming out on November 18th. This one is a sharp thriller about Gwen Tanner. She has spent 20 years hiding from her past as the daughter of a serial killer. That sounds good. But when a new predator starts sending her gruesome messages, Gwen is forced to confront the legacy that she has tried to bury. Apparently, it is darkly funny, emotionally raw, and steeped in true crime obsession. So that sounds really good. Next, we have Evil Bones by Kathy Reichs, I believe is how you say the last name. 11/18 is when this one comes out. This one is a forensic thriller where someone named Temperance Brennan investigates a string of bizarre animal mutilations. Okay, maybe not this one. That quickly spiral into human horrors. I mean, I'm sorry, mutilate the humans all you want, but not the animals. Just leave them alone, okay? As the killer's pattern escalates, Tempe becomes the target of a very twisted game and must race to stop this predator who is definitely redefining evil. Yes, definitely. This apparently is very unsettling and packed with psychological depth. Next, we have Track Shift by Jack Gatland coming out on November 24th. This is the third entry into the Liam Harper series, where the former SRR operative heads to Chicago hoping to disappear, but instead lands in the middle of a deadly conspiracy. And then we have a ruthless security mogul hunting him and a powerful tycoon, and the city becomes a battleground. Betrayals run deep, allies are scarce, and Harper must decide whether to expose the truth or vanish for good. And in Chicago, when the city pushes, Harper pushes back. Next, we have NYPD Red 8 by Marshall Karp coming out November 25th. This one is a high-stakes police thriller where detectives Kylie McDonald and Zach Jordan race to stop a bomber striking New York at exactly 11:59 each day. That's pretty creepy. As panic spreads and the death toll rises, they have to uncover the motive behind the attacks and catch the killer bent on revenge before time runs out. All right, the final book in our crime thriller segment is Exit Strategy by Lee Child and Andrew Child. This one comes out 11/11. So this is another Jack Reacher thriller. It starts as a quiet day with coffee, and it turns into a mission when Reacher finds a mysterious note slipped into his pocket. Someone needs help, and Reacher is not the type to walk away. 3 stops, 1 expected twist, and a whole lot of trouble. I just always see Tom Cruise in these books because of that Jack Reacher movie. This one sounds pretty good. Okay, now we're going to segue into the political thrillers. So if you are a fan of political thrillers, this section is for you. The first political thriller we have coming out on 11/1, and it's The Kidnapping of Alice Ingold by Kate Houlihan. This one is about a girl named Alice, and she is kidnapped, but her captors want the whole country to solve her crime. They make it like a nationwide scavenger hunt. So everyone is trying to solve her disappearance. But then it's like by the end, are they really trying to save Alice Ingold, or is the country just trying to save themselves? This one seems different from your typical ransom story. It seems kind of interesting. The next one coming out on November 1st is A Team of 7 by Brad Lee. This is book 7 in the Unsanctioned Assets series. This one is about a group of off-the-books intelligence operatives trying to stop a cyber attack that could devastate the country. Haley Albright is stuck behind a desk. Axe is still recovering from his last mission, and the team's only lead is sketchy at best. But as they chase down the source of the threat, it becomes clear that there is way more going on than they expected, and they are running out of time. Next up, we have Line of Fire by Logan Riles coming out on November 11th. This one is a high-octane military thriller about Ian Hale. He's a former Delta Force operator betrayed on a rescue mission. Oh, that sucks. And left as the sole survivor. He is hunted and outnumbered. He goes rogue to expose a deadly conspiracy that reaches deep into the nation's core. It is relentless, patriotic, and built for fans of lone wolf vengeance and nonstop action. Next political thriller is The Revenge of Odessa by Frederick Forsyth, coming out on November 18th. This is book 2 of the Odessa series, if you're familiar with that one, and it's a political thriller that follows a retired journalist named Peter Miller and his grandson George as they uncover a new underground group called Medusa. Decades after exposing Odessa, Peter faces a rising threat that is fueling unrest in Germany and reaching for power in the US. Together, they have to stop a dangerous conspiracy before it explodes. Next, we have The Mirage by Michael C. Grumley. This one comes out November 25th. And this was a layered conspiracy thriller featuring Mike Mansfield, who steps in to help a grieving family, but quickly realizes the official story doesn't add up. As he and his team dig deeper, they uncover a very buried truth. One powerful forces are desperate to keep hidden, as always. With someone watching his every move, Mansfield becomes the wild card that nobody saw coming. It's tense, shadowy, and full of slow burn revelations. Next, we have The Midnight Witness by J.J. Miller, coming out on November 25th. This is a thriller where defense attorney Hank Luger takes on a murder case that leads him deep into Savannah's corrupt tech scene. And he uncovers secrets and betrayal among the city's elite, and he has to navigate a dangerous web of ambition and family ties. This one is sharp, suspenseful, and very full of twists. All right, so we're moving on to the next category of thrillers, which is mystery thrillers, coming out in November of 2025. One of my personal favorite type of thrillers. The first mystery thriller coming out in November is Her One Regret by Donna Freitas, and it's coming out on November 4th. This one's about a woman named Lucy who disappears, leaving her baby behind in a parking lot. Her best friend Michelle, of course, starts freaking out, but she also knows that Lucy once admitted that, she regretted becoming a mom and had even thought about faking her own disappearance. So now Michelle is wondering, did something happen to Lucy, or did she actually just walk away from it all? This one sounds very, very good and like a must-add for my TBR. Next up, we have The New Year's Party by Jenna Satterthwaite, coming out on November 5th. This one's about a New Year's Eve party gone wrong. We might want to pick this one up for December. It's about a group of 30-somethings who want to get together for New Year's. They haven't gotten together in a while because, adulting, but now they're back together and they just kind of want to let loose, but then secrets start to come out and then someone drops dead. So apparently they don't know their friends as well as they think. If you're interested in a killer party thriller, this one sounds really ideal for, New Year's Eve coming up. So something to add. Next up, we have The Lake of Lost Girls by Catherine Green, and this one is coming out November 11th. This one is a haunting dual timeline thriller about a college student who vanished in 1998 and the sister who's still searching for answers decades later. As a viral true crime podcast reignites interest in the case, long buried bodies come to surface and dark secrets, of course, start to unravel. It is a chilling dive into sisterhood, obsession, and the stories we tell to make sense of the unthinkable. This one, because of the podcast aspect, reminds me of Listen for the Lie. And I also kind of love a book about someone who's still looking for their sibling who went missing 20 years ago. That's really why I liked Pretty Girls. So this one kind of sounds like that. Next up, we have 12 Sinners by Henry James Kay. This mystery thriller is coming out on November 12th. This one is more of a serial killer thriller. It's about a dying man on a mission to cleanse the world by murdering 12 so-called sinners before cancer takes him. Okay, this also reminds me of Seven, the movie. And it also reminds me of that new Holly Jackson book that just came out where she's trying to like find someone and kill them before she dies. As bodies fall, FBI Special Agent Malcolm Gee races to stop the killer's twisted countdown while juggling pressure from his boss and his personal life. It is a tense, high stakes hunt where justice and obsession collide. This next one is Robert B. Parker's Showdown by Mike Lupica. It is coming out on November 25th. And this one is a sharp, timely Spencer thriller where a paternity claim threatens to derail a controversial podcaster's career. When Spencer looks into Daniel Lopez's claim that Vic Hale is his father, the investigation turns deadly and fast. With bodies piling up and secrets surfacing, Spencer has to untangle the truth before someone silences it for good. Next up, we have psychological thrillers. Are you ready? Are you ready? I love psychological thrillers. The first one coming out in November is called The Perfect Hosts by Heather Gudenkoff. That's coming out November 4th. If you haven't heard of this author, she also wrote The Overnight Guest. In this one, there is like an extravagant gender reveal party with pistols and pearls as the theme. And it is for 200 guests. And then a guest dies. And then basically things start spinning out of control. So I really like that. So this is like another party thriller. Instead of New Year's party, though, this one is actually gender reveal party. So like, I don't know. I feel like so many things have gone wrong at gender reveal parties that I'm glad someone finally wrote a book about it. Next up, we have With Friends Like These by Alyssa Lee, coming out November 4th. And this one is about a group of old Harvard roommates who've kept a secret killing game going for 20 years. Wow. But this time there is real money on the line and real danger in the mix. How was there not real danger before? As the game unfolds across New York City, one of them starts to suspect the others are playing dirty and someone might actually be out for blood. So that one comes out November 4th. Next up in the psychological thriller category, we have Where He Left Me by Nicole Bart, coming out November 4th. And this one is about a woman named Sadie. She's a newlywed and she is stranded in a remote mountain house after her husband vanishes without a trace. As a storm rolls in and two strangers show up, she starts uncovering secrets that make her question everything she thought she knew about him. It is tense, emotional, and full of twists that blur the line between love and survival. I love that kind of book. That sounds very suspenseful. The Sunshine Man is the next thriller. It is by Emma Stonex, and it is coming out November 11th. This is a revenge thriller about Bertie Keller, who sets out to kill the man who murdered her sister years ago. But as she hunts him through London's shadows, old secrets start to come to life and the line between hunter and hunted begins to blur. It's a haunting, dual perspective cat and mouse game where vengeance has a memory and a cost. Next up, we have The Forest of Missing Girls by Nichelle Giraldes, coming out November 14th. This one is a chilling thriller about Leah Gregg, who returns home only to find the forest she's always feared is hiding something truly sinister. When a girl vanishes from their backyard, Leah suspects her own family might be entangled in the mystery, and her sister could be next. It is eerie, emotional, and steeped in secrets that will not stay buried. Next up is 59 Minutes by Holly Seddon, coming out November 18th. This one's a survival thriller where three women face a terrifying nuclear missile alert with just 59 minutes until impact. Each of them have to fight through the chaos to reach the people they love. Oh my God, this reminds me of A House Filled with Dynamite, a Netflix movie I just watched. I don't even want to talk about it. It is emotional, tense, and all about what matters most when time runs out. I am definitely going to pick this one up. I really like nuclear war type thriller situations. Not in real life, of course, but I started reading that one book, Nuclear War, A Scenario by Annie Jacobson. That one was very scary. And now like any kind of nuclear war book interests me. So 59 Minutes sounds very good. Next up, we have Made You Look by Tanya Grant, coming out November 18th. This one is a locked room style thriller where a group of influencers are snowed in at a remote Catskills retreat, and then someone just starts killing them off. They have no Wi-Fi and there's no way to escape. And of course, there's plenty of secrets and people are turning up dead. Fame, envy, and survival collide in a story that is as sharp as it is addictive. Next, we have Unmarried by Emily Shiner, coming out November 19th. This is book 2 of the Perfect Couples series, but apparently it can also be enjoyed as a standalone. So if you haven't read the first one, that's okay. This one is a twisty psychological thriller about a woman who marries a charming doctor with a deadly past, and then she has her own secrets to protect. But as she discovers disturbing clues about his first wife's death, she realizes she is not just his next victim, she might be his match. It is tense, layered, and perfect for fans of domestic suspense with a bite. Next up is Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cascino, coming out on November 25th. This one is a dark psychological thriller that apparently is also funny. It's about a woman pushed to the edge by a brutal housing market. After losing 11 bidding wars, Margot Miyake becomes obsessed with landing the perfect home, no matter what it takes. I love that kind of like desperation story. Stalking, trespassing, and manipulation. It's all fair game in her quest for the dream life. That sounds so good. That feels like so many ways that could go wrong. I really like that one. Sounds really good. Okay, and that wraps up all of the thrillers that I found coming out in November of 2025. You have to tell me which ones sound most interesting to you, and also let me know like what's your favorite type of thriller. Mine is definitely like I like domestic thrillers, I like psychological thrillers, and crime thrillers. I'm really not too big on the political thrillers, although I will read one here and there occasionally if it's good. Also mystery, very good stuff. I'm also going to share with you now a couple of horror books that are coming out in November of 2025 that I am really excited about. The first one is by Laurel Hightower. I read her book Crossroads like a month or two ago, scared the shit out of me. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next one by her coming out November 4th called The Long Low Whistle. This one is about a woman who is searching for answers about her dad's death from like decades ago, and she joins a group of cryptid hunters, which are basically people who hunt creatures that were from like myth and folklore, and she's trying to penetrate this abandoned mine where he was last seen. And if I know Laurel Hightower, that is going to be effed up and just weird and spooky in all the ways. I can't wait. The next horror book coming out in November is coming out on November 4th, and it's called The Place Where They Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry. I really like Christina Henry's book, Good Girls Don't Die, so I'm really like excited that she just came out with another one now. It's about a woman who has to confront the evil that has been terrorizing her street since she was little. And it's more of a haunted house novel, which is like one of my favorite types of horror. And I'm really excited about this one. So obviously having just come off of the brilliant book that was Play Nice, also kind of like haunted house type of novel, I'm really in the mood for like a haunted house story. I have plenty of those in my shelf, but this one sounds very good. So now let's talk about some of the thriller events happening around the country in November. There's a lot. I'm going to share some like bookish events, but I'm also going to share some author events. Okay, so this first event I think is going to pique the interest of like literally anyone who's ever read a thriller or horror novel. It is called Horror Reader Weekend in Hudson Valley, New York. This is a 3-day retreat celebrating horror books and authors. And my friends, really famous horror authors are going to this retreat in New York, like Rachel Harrison, John Langan, Philip Fracassi, J.H. Marker, Ronald Malfi, Christina Henry, and more. Okay, lots more. Those are just the ones that I decided to list. But literally all these cool horror authors are going to be in one place for this horror reader weekend in Hudson Valley in New York, happening on November 7th through November 9th. And yes, if you're trying to go and stay at the lodge where this is happening, it is sold out, but you could still go and stay somewhere a little bit further from the lodge, but you could still go to this retreat. I'm pretty sure that you could still get a ticket if you really, really wanted to. It's in Hudson Valley, New York, but this is so cool. I wish I would have known about this before, but yeah, I would love to see all of these authors. John Langan wrote The Fisherman, and I'm telling you, that one was such a scary book. Like, I would love to like buy that book and have him sign it. Now, if you're a fan of book festivals, there are so many happening in November. I'm going to put a link down below with like everything that I'm talking about so you can see the festivals that are happening across the country near you. There's going to be book festivals happening in California, Florida, Louisiana, Oregon, just to name a few states. But honestly, look at the link below because there's bound to be a cool book festival happening near you in November. They're all over the place. Okay, so this next event is called the New England Crime Bake. It is happening November 7th through November 9th in Dedham, Massachusetts. The New England Crime Bake is the premier conference for writers and lovers of crime writing. And this is happening in New England. People who attend this event are usually writers at all stages of their career, representing every crime genre, including mystery, thriller, suspense, YA. But in addition to writers, this conference also appeals to readers too, people who love reading crime. And a lot of people go to this event, like librarians, booksellers, agents, editors, publishers. It's bound to be extremely fun. So this is happening in New England, early November, between the 7th and the 9th. Next up, we have an in-person mystery thriller book club that is happening in Palmyra, Pennsylvania at this really cute bookstore that I found online called Book Bar. Now, I'm not in Pennsylvania, but if I were, I would definitely be visiting this place. They're having an in-person book club on November 13th at 6 p.m., and they're going to be talking about The Women in Cabin 10. Now, if you know Ruth Ware, you know that's her novel, and it just became a movie on Netflix that I actually really enjoyed. Great book, one of my favorite Ruth Ware books. But if you've read that book and you live in Pennsylvania, close to Palmyra, you should definitely go and have a book chat with these ladies and gentlemen at the Book Bar, because that place just sounds so cute. There's also an in-person mystery thriller book club happening November 4th at the Barnes & Noble in Hamilton, New Jersey, where they are discussing a John le Carre book called Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. That one is part of the George Smiley series, if you are familiar with John le Carre's work. Next up, we have a bookish event that is happening in Iceland. I finally found a cool event that happens outside of the US, and this is happening November 12th through the 15th. This is a literature festival celebrating darkness in the darkest time of year, and it is held by best-selling crime writers. It started as a celebration of crime fiction, and it is now a festival that welcomes writers and creatives outside of that genre too. Some popular authors that are going to be there are George R.R. Martin, Hattie Williams, Will Tudor, and Chris Whitaker. As far as author events go, author T.M. Logan is going to be at the Derby Book Festival happening in Derby, England, another out of US event, on Friday, November 14th at 5:15 p.m. He's going to be discussing his thriller book, The Daughter. Now, if you're not familiar with T.M. Logan, which I am not, he has over 3 million books sold, and actually a few of his thrillers were already on Netflix, The Holiday and The Catch. So if you've heard of those, I have not heard of those, but I think that's really cool that he has already these series adaptations out. If you're a fan of Carter Wilson, you could see him at the Broomfield Library in Broomfield, Colorado on November 6th from 2 to 7 p.m. He's going to be in conversation with author Angie Kim, who wrote the book Happiness Falls. Jennifer Fawcett, author of Keep This For Me, is going to be doing a talk and book signing at the Edwardsburg Community Library in Spencerville, Ontario, Canada on November 12th. She's also going to be teaching a class on writing suspense fiction in Beacon, New York on November 16th. If you're a fan of Noelle W. Illey, she's doing some events in November. She's going to be in California and Arizona the first week in November promoting Ask for Andrea. Christina Henry is also going to be doing her fair share of touring promoting her latest horror novel, The Place Where They Buried Your Heart. She's going to be in Louisiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, New York, and Massachusetts. So if you're a fan of Vanessa Lilly, she's the one that wrote The Bone Thief. She's also currently on tour visiting Massachusetts, Connecticut, Arizona, Rhode Island, and a lot more. So I'll be linking these events down below so you can get a closer look. J.H. Markert is also going to be doing some events in November. He wrote Sleep Tight and also Spider to the Fly. You can catch him in New York, Ohio, and Indiana. Kay Chronister, who is the author of The Bog Wife and Thin Places, is also going to be doing a couple events in Pennsylvania this month. So I'll be sure to link those down below. All right, so let's look at any thrillers becoming movies or series this month. The biggest ones are The Running Man, which is based on a book by Stephen King. That one's going to be coming out November 7th. And Frankenstein is also going to be coming out November 7th. So those are the big ones happening. Those ones are always a little bit scarce. We'll see what comes up for the rest of the year. And lastly, let's talk about what scary movies are coming out in November of 2025. As my dog growls, she just woke up from a very long nap and she is now growling because she sees people outside. Hey, 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 shh. Okay, we have the dog. All right, so let's talk about the scary movies now that are coming out this month in theaters. All right, so the scary movies coming out in November of 2025. The first one is Predator Badlands. That one's coming out on November 7th. Now, this is part of the Predator Alien universe, but it's a self-contained narrative. So it's on a different timeline than Prey. I don't know if you saw that movie, but that one was set in the 1700s, and that one came out a little bit ago. So this one is kind of separate from that one. But it's about an alien hunter who has been cast out from its clan, and it meets an unlikely ally to embark on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. Next, we have Die My Love coming out on November 7th. This one is actually based on a book as well by Ariana Harwitz. So this one looks really good. Jennifer Lawrence is in this one as well as Richard Pattinson. It's about a woman named Grace. She is a writer and a young mother, and she is slowly slipping into madness. She is locked away in an old house in Montana, and her increasingly agitated and erratic behavior leaves her companion Jackson worried and helpless. This one looks really good. You should watch the trailer. That one comes out November 7th. Next, we have Keeper coming out on 11/14. And this one just says it's about a romantic anniversary trip to a secluded cabin, and it turns sinister when a dark presence reveals itself. The trailer to this one is very creepy. I've seen it a few times. I don't even really know what it's about, but it looks very creepy. It's like it represents the woman as maybe being the villain and then kind of shows the man to maybe be the villain. So I don't know which way this is going to go. I have to find out. Next, we have Indecipherable, and this one is coming out on November 15th. I really did not understand the trailer because there wasn't really much there, but it's about a boy who gets trapped in his house at night all alone, and he starts losing himself in his thoughts and starts to understand the possibility of not being alone. Sounds very creepy, and actually the trailer is weird and creepy. I have no idea what to expect there, but I will probably go see it because it just sounds scary. And that's a wrap for this thriller watch for all the books, movies, and events coming out in November of 2025. I mean, so much good stuff here. What do you plan on seeing? Like, what movies do you plan on seeing? And what books do you plan on reading? Are you excited about any of these books? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, thank you so much for watching. If you're here to the end, me and Stella very much appreciate it. And we appreciate you. So thank you, my fellow thriller lovers. She's very much, she thinks there's someone outside. She's going to growl. Thank you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.